the Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Roling. Do you believe you are capable of choosing your future? Sometimes it takes just one person to believe in you, or you to believe in yourself. If you find yourself continuing to say, someday I will take better care of myself, only to continue living the same day over and over and over again, then you, my friend, are in the right place. I am your biggest cheerleader, inspiring you to become you on purpose and with intention. Are you ready to create a life you love? I'm excited to share with you some big ideas that you can use today to inspire, impact, and influence your life and everyone in it. The Becoming You show starts now. Hello, my friends. How the heck are you? I keep thinking that I'm going to change my opening, but I can't. It's so natural when I record these. So I am thinking of you, and I truly am wondering how your week was. I wonder how you slept. I wonder if you woke up rested or resentful. I wonder if you went through your day delighted or disappointed. I wonder if you feel exhausted or excited. I wonder why I am so lucky that I get to be with you on this journey, on this podcast, exploring all of these questions. I am excited and feel so lucky that I get to have these conversations with you. And I feel a tremendous amount of gratitude and a tremendous amount of love. And speaking of love, that is what we are talking about today. It just so happens to be and has been my word for the year, the vision board inspiration and the thing that I value most in the world. And if you've never done like a value assessment sheet, if you haven't, hit me up on or DM me and I'll send you one. It's a document with like 50 plus words, and you just circle all the words that resonate with you the most. And then you narrow it down to 5 and then 3 and then 1. And my 1 is always love. And the most valuable thing on earth to me is love. Maybe second, guacamole, but it's love. So what do I mean? What do I mean by love? I mean, love of yourself, love for and from others, love of where you live, love of what you do, love of everything around you, love of your life, love of your creator or universe or whatever you believe in. Love is the motivation that keeps us going in search of more. But when we think about love, and in particularly loving our life, sometimes it feels hard. Sometimes it feels impossible. Sometimes it feels frustrating, and I get it. I will speak to all of those in a minute, but I need to confirm first a few things when it comes to love. A lot of people think that love hurts. A lot of people think that love is complicated. A lot of people think that they can't trust love. A lot of people think that when I love, I get hurt. And I want you to consider that those are just lies. Because friends, love doesn't hurt. Love can always be trusted. Love is complete. It is not complicated. Now, what hurts is disappointment. What hurts is expectation. What hurts is telling yourself that you should have known better, thinking that he would change, thinking that she would be different, thinking that they should understand. We don't understand that we can love someone even if they turn out not to be the person we thought they should. What hurts us is the thought that they should have. What hurts us is when we stop loving because of it. And I'm not suggesting blindly being mistreated. I'm suggesting your thoughts about how you're being mistreated are sometimes worse than the mistreatment. If you do not love who you are around, where you live, or what you do, then there is a chance of you not loving your life. If you don't love who you're around, where you live, and what you do, there is little chance of you living a happy life. Very little chance that you are going to love your life. And that is what this entire podcast is generally. I want you to love your life. I want you to be obsessed with your life. I want every person listening to this, and if you are, just to shout out, I love you. I want you to wake up on fire for your life. I want you to be excited about the things that you get to do and the people that you get to love and experience this life with. That is my mission. That is my mission for the purpose of the work that I do, right? I'm a life coach for a reason. And again, we've had this conversation many times. I love being a life coach. There's nothing else that I would rather do than to invite people, to coach people on the psychology and the sociology that is required to love your life. Is there anything more important? So we must find a way to create that happiness by getting in touch with the things that you love. After all, as you know, happiness is made, it's not found. So we're going to start with our thoughts, per usual. Your relationship with anyone and anything starts with that. Your relationship with another person is made up by the thoughts that you think about that other person. A lot of us, sometimes, we think that our relationships are made up by what it is that we do or don't do as it relates to that relationship, but you know this work. And the doing is always preceded by the thinking and the feeling. And this is true with your relationship with yourself, other people, and yes, your life. So here's my question for you. What is the relationship that you have with your life? How do you think about your life? Is it going the way that you thought it would? Are there areas of your life that you love and perhaps other areas that you don't? Do you think of your life sometimes like we tend to think of other people? I mean, I hear this all the time. I really love my husband, or I really love my mother-in-law, or I really love fill in the blank, but. And I kindly remind them that anything after the but is crap that needs cleared if we're going to level up on our own experience in that relationship. Remember, we are not clearing it for that other person's sake. They don't feel your feelings. Where are we butting our life? Where are we saying, I love my life, but? And is it something you want to be doing? I want each and every one of you to love your life, not to butt it. Think about how your relationship would be with your child or your best friend. If you were like, gosh, 12-year-old son of mine, I really love you, but I wish you were different in this way. I wish you woke up just a little happier. I wish you weren't so lazy. I wish you were smarter or richer or took better care of your clothes or didn't lose things as much as you did. How might that affect your relationship with your son? Not great, right? But how often do we say that about our life? Our life is made up of so many components. Yes, we have our relationships with the people in our life, but have you ever considered that we have relationships with our profession, our homes, our car, our clothes, our weight, our health, our money, our time, our sleep? And if you are human, there are times when these relationships are awesome and fun and easy and natural and exciting. And other times, they're not. And it's important to manage our mind around these relationships that we have. So I want you to think about the relationships with your life, the way you think about your relationship with your kids or with your best friend or with your significant other or spouse. I want you to love your business and your house and your car and your body, even when they're behaving like a naughty little teenager, even when they're not working the way you want, even when you think it should be more profitable or more tidy with more bathrooms and less mileage and thinner and healthier. I want you to love your life and watch it grow and expand and evolve. Think about your life that way. Your life is like a person. You are allowed to think about how your life dresses, how your life acts, how your life behaves, and what are the parts of her that are easy and fun, and what are the parts of her that are more challenging. And can you embrace that life, is an ever dynamic, changing person that with encouragement and love, she will grow. So, want to know why loving your life is easy? Because it is in your control. So many of us think that in order to love our life has to be different, AKA the situation or the circumstance has to be different. We have to live on a beach or have a better husband or have more respectful kids or a better paying job or more responsibilities at work or less responsibilities at work or a better boss or a bigger house or a smaller dress size or fancier shoes or a nicer car or a bigger car or a smaller car or a home office or new throw pillows or whatever. And you know the model I teach. Your life is your S. Your life is your situation. And it is neutral. It's neither awesome or awful until you have a thought about it. And this is awesome news because that is what you get to choose. That is in your control. You get to think about your life however you want. Nobody can tell you otherwise. Nobody can say, why do you think this or why? No, you just get to choose. So that's the first thing that I want to share with you. Your life and whether or not you love your life is completely up to you. The second thing I want you to think about is what is the story of your life? What is the genre? Is it light? Is it fun? Or is it heavy and serious? There's no right or wrong answer here. Whatever it is, you are creating it in your brain. If it is a book, what's the title? If you think about all the different areas of your life as chapters in this book, your home, your family, your friends, your money, your body, your contribution, your city, right? The things that you own, your car, your clothes, your church, your community, your profession. How would you narrate the paragraphs of these chapters? People like to challenge me on this one. They like to say that they would love their life more if they had more money, if they had a better job, if they had more friends, if they had less friends, if they weighed a certain amount, if they lived on a beach, had less frustration. And I lovingly challenge them to consider that I have had the pleasure of working with clients that range the spectrum. I have had clients that have been super, super, uber rich and incredibly unhappy. I hosted a life study several years ago in my home, and we were all talking about the struggles that we had. And one of my friends offered up that, she struggled with anxiety and depression. And another one of my friends offered up in almost disbelief that this friend of mine, who, mind you, was a maybe size 4, and the other friend was maybe a size 12. My size 12 friend offered up to my size 4 friend, how could you be anxious or depressed? You're size 4. And what my size 4 friend said was that my size does not create joy for me. And it was such an aha for both of them that both of them thought that something outside of themselves was the reason why they couldn't love their life. They couldn't love what was inside of them. It's so important that we know this, not just know it because you hear me say it, but know it. Loving your life also is not about being happy all the time. There's something more available for each and every one of you, something even better than being happy all the time. And that is embracing this life that you get to live, and you get to choose to accept all of it, knowing that the human story is always going to be made up of progress and struggle. And when we can accept and honor all of that, it transforms the way we live our life. And I know I've discussed this whole 50-50 before, but it's because it's one of the most powerful concepts that I've learned in my journey. Because again, remember, your life is a collection of situations. Home, family, friends, money, your body, your contribution, all the things that I mentioned earlier, they all exist outside of us. They don't have power. None of those things have power unless you give them power. So please don't discount that. You have the power. What gives any of these things power is your brain. So now let's give some love to our brain. Your brain is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, right? More of what you want, less of what you don't. Your brain is there to protect you, to avoid feeling negative, to seek out positive, to stay safe, to conserve energy, to do things simple. And when we are at our best, we are going to create a 50-50 reality for ourselves, which means half of the time we are going to feel positive and good. And the other half of the time, we're going to feel negative, meaning, does it feel great? Which is because the way the brain is designed. So think back to your relationship with your life. Certain parts are super fun and easy, and the other parts are challenging and overwhelming. And nothing has gone wrong. And when we don't realize that this is true, we spend a lot of time resisting negative emotions. We spend a lot of time feeling like something is wrong when we feel overwhelmed or worry. We spend a lot of time trying to change situations to get rid of that negative emotion. And if you are spending half and half, that means you're doing it right. It doesn't mean that we don't pay attention. We do. We use the frustrating 50 as our teacher, as our curriculum to learn and to lean in to what possibility is next. So 50-50 is the goal, my friends. And many of us are trying to outrun that. Many of us are trying to change circumstances and swap the S's in our life because then we will feel better. We think that if our house was cleaner or our house was bigger, if we had a different job or different employees or more money or less weight, or if people in our life were just different, then we would for sure be happier, then we would for sure be able to love our life. This is what for sure our brain thinks. Change circumstances, change feelings, right? And it might in some cases, but it's not because of the circumstance. It's because of your thoughts about it. You are going to love your life only when you think loving thoughts about it, nothing else. So can you watch your life and experience your life through the lens of 50-50? 50% excitement of what happened and 50% disappointed about what could be different. That is this life experience. And when we embrace it and when we include the negative into the experience, instead of boxing them away or pushing them out and forgetting they exist, discounting the 50% of our experience, of our existence. So when you think about life, like maybe a movie, okay? The reason that movie is so great and entertaining and even fascinating, riveting, as you binge, season, watch, is because of this 50-50. The 50-50 is what makes the movie so exciting. If things went great all the time and there was no conflict and no problem, it'd be pretty boring. And you wouldn't want to wait for that next episode, right? You just go to bed. You probably wouldn't even watch the show again. And a couple more things to know about this 50-50. I had a client that mentioned to me that she's living a life that's more like 80-20, meaning she rarely experiences any disappointment or frustration. And I said, if this is the case, there are probably two reasons. Either one, you're not living big enough. And interestingly enough, she hired me to coach her because she felt unfulfilled, dissatisfied, bored even. Or number two, we're not feeling our feelings. We're buffering them away, avoiding them, and pretending. And interestingly enough, she was doing that one as well. And so the very last thing that I want to know on this topic is that it's okay to want to change circumstances, but not because you think it will be better there than here. Not because that will then finally give you permission to start loving your life right now as it is. We think sometimes if we don't love it as it is, then we won't do the work necessary to change that circumstance. But that's where we get it all wrong. When we come from a place of acceptance, where we are pursuing it patiently with grace and curiosity for the journey, right? We will transform our life in a way that is so much better and so more fulfilling than the judgment and the blame and the hating ourselves. I've mentioned this on the podcast many times. We can't hate ourselves thinner. Shame is not motivating. So I want you to think about this when it comes to your life and your future life. Where are you loving your life right now? And where aren't you loving your life? And how can you accept where you are right now as if there was another alternative? Because I want you to know that your life right now was because of the past choices and decisions that your past you created for you. What can you decide today for you right now? Can you decide right now that you're going to start loving every aspect of your life? And from the acceptance of that, from that loving of that, make choices deliberately to love it into more, to love it into the possibility of what it could be. And I don't know what that is for you, but I want you to know what that is for you. Like I mentioned, I want everyone on this planet to love their life more. And it starts with a thought. It starts with the thought that we accept what is. And then from what is, from love, from gratitude, from patience and curiosity, we explore what's more. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. If anyone that you know of that could use and or benefit from this message today, would you do me a favor? Would you share this with them? That's the only way that this show, that this podcast reaches people is because of you, because you've shared it with the world in a way that I am incredibly grateful for, because you passed it around to a friend that was maybe struggling with loving their life, because you realized, wow, maybe it's not about what's outside of us. That maybe, just maybe, there is something to this thought work. Maybe, just maybe, the relationship that I have with anything and anyone starts with a thought. And that thought is 100% in my control, 100% a choice that I get to either choose or not choose. That's what all this work is, right? It's a choice. It's a choice on how you want to show up in the day. It's a choice on how you want to obey the commitments to yourself or not. It's a choice about how I want to show up for other people, even when, and especially when they seem to be unlovable. But if we think about it, no one's truly unlovable, because we have to remember our lovability has nothing to do with us. It has to do with the person doing the loving. And I want you to be that person. I want you to be the person doing the loving, not for the person that you're loving. but for you. This work, this love benefits you. When I tell people that even if that neighbor frustrated them, that friend betrayed them, their kids are disrespecting of them, that employee continues to take advantage of them, love is available. It always is. But then they say, why should I love that person? They did this, they did that, they did this. And I will say it again, because you benefit from your love, not them. I think we can all agree in a world where we're so divided on so many things. But I think this one thing that we can agree on, we could all benefit from a little love, or maybe a lot of love. So who can you love a little harder today? Who can you love a little bit more intentionally today? And can you, right after this, right after you hear this, can you reach out to them, send them a text, send them a voice message that says, you know what? I was thinking about you and I love you because. Don't wait. Life is way too short. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Roling, where I share big ideas to inspire, impact, and influence your life. Tune in every Friday at 11 Central on transformationtalkradio.com for your morning cup of coffee, the hug you never want to end, and that inspirational message that you felt was written just for you. Each show is inspiring you to become you with purpose and intention. For more information or to connect with me, visit www.leahroling.com.